Right, it's the 2K pregame show.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal. And on tap tonight, it's the Cleveland Cavaliers going up against the San Antonio Spurs. Well, for San Antonio, they went 2-0 against this team last season, looking to continue that string of victories tonight. Boy, the Cleveland Cavaliers, not only do they have LeBron James in the fold, but also they have really struck it rich with the lottery, getting the #1 pick 3 out of the last 4.
Yes, LeBron, Kyrie Irving, and the #1 pick. Very interesting, Ernie. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, maybe 5, 6, 7 trips to the finals for the King.
Now who's getting carried away? Ready to tip it off. Let's go to Kevin Harlan.
It's the home of the Cavaliers here in Cleveland, Ohio, as we bring you an interconference match here at the Quicken Loans Arena. And the Spurs looking for a positive start here on their road trip. Still out of the lineup is Kevin Love. They want him healthy. He's not ready yet.
I hear you, Kevin, but really it's an issue for both teams in regards to the injury situation. So it's a matter of which team can rise up and show the fortitude necessary to play through the injuries and still come out on top.
Now, there's probably a lot of sympathy these teams have for each other. I mean, they're going through the same thing at the same time. So injuries a major factor in this game.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the floor for San Antonio. Down low, it's Duncan and Splitter. Green teams with Leonard on the wings. And it's Parker in at the point guard position.
So many accomplishments in LeBron's career, but one milestone he reached last year, 20,000 points, 5,000 assists, and 5,000 rebounds in his first 800 games played. That's incredible.
For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they won their last contest, that game against the Nuggets.
That didn't seem to be much of a challenge for them in that game. It seemed like they scored at will, not much defense that they were facing.
Yep, they had the defense on its heels early the entire game, and actually nearly the entire game, and no matter what unit was out there, looked like a mismatch to me.
Well, Kevin Durant, last season's MVP, but LeBron James has won 4 in the last 6 seasons. He's one of only 5 players to ever win that many, and you can bet he'd love to win a few more.
No good on that one. And you remember LeBron James came within 1 vote, Clark, 1 vote of being the league's first ever unanimous MVP back in 2013.
Yeah, he got 120 out of 121 votes, and you know the question was, who did not vote for him? That's a conversation for another time. One sports writer did choose Carmelo Anthony. He said he didn't expect to be the only one. Now he is
the writer does.
That's exactly right.
Good. Now here's Parker. 17 points for him last game against Philadelphia.
And he really kept his head down, was drawing contact, getting himself to the line, played an aggressive game. That was a big-time help for him and his team.
Good. That's how to orchestrate for your teammate. Terrific pass.
Here's Irving. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against Denver.
And Kevin, a remarkable night for him, passing the ball, just racking up the assists.
Parker kicks to Green. Out to Parker. First quarter of play with about a minute and a half gone. Duncan with the screen for Green. Outside Leonard. Shot clock at 6. Here's Duncan. And a foul call on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Well, Tim Duncan, when asked about his retirement plans right after the 2013 final, refused to dignify the question with the response. But last season's Spurs run answered loudly enough.
And that one falls for Duncan. And for Duncan and the Spurs, year after year, people write him off. And Steve, they keep proving him wrong.
It's incredible. I mean, I think I wrote them off 4 years ago, and here they are continuing to just be an elite team in the NBA. And Duncan, one of the big reasons for it. He seems to get better and better, and he loves the game. He continues to stay in great shape and compete. Who knows how long he'll go.
So he hits 1 of 2 from the stripe.
Well, for Tim Duncan with age, the Spurs have looked to reduce his minutes load during the regular season. But when he's on the court, he remains as efficient as ever.
Now, here is Irvin. James kicks to Waiters. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. No good.
That's his comfort zone, so defensively, really nice job challenging the shot.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, I was able to talk with David Black for a minute. I asked him what they needed to key in on defensively, and he said, well, we've got to limit penetration by Tony Parker. He's really the, quote, head of the snake, and with his floater, he doesn't need to get all the way to the rim to score. It's crucial that we do our best to keep him outside the lane. Guys, that's no easy assignment. We'll see how much success they have defensively.
And thank you for that, Doris.
And Duncan last season averaging close to a double-double in less than 30 minutes a game, as dominant on the glass as ever. Tim Duncan.
And you take a look at Tim Duncan's rebounding, Steve, moving into the top 5 in career double-doubles.
Yeah, he just passed Karl Malone and the great Bill Russell, so Duncan just continues this late career renaissance. His play has just been spectacular the last few years.
He hits both from the stripe.
The Spurs were able to take the top seed in the West once again and set themselves up for yet another deep playoff run.
Irving drives in, and that is good. Irving's got his first basket of the night.
The soft finger roll is just one of the many finishing moves he has in his bag of shot making.
Leonard kicks to Green. Leonard against LeBron. Outside Leonard. Shakes off the strong D and gets the bucket for 2. Leonard's got his first points in this one.
As you said, the Spurs were the top seed coming into the playoffs and in the West, but they were pushed to the limit early by Dallas before cruising to the NBA Finals. And I can go back a number of years where the #1 seed has had a tough time in its first round matchup only to get to the NBA Finals and in some cases win.
Here's Parker. Dion Waiters making his last shot. Parker outside. Pass to Duncan. And he makes good on the layup. Duncan's got 5 now. And for the Spurs in their run to yet another NBA title, they didn't seem to have any weakness in any facet of their game.
And you know, a little bit of that was overlooked, I thought, Kevin, heading into the final series against Miami, but certainly not afterward. One of the things that so impressed me was the depth, the quality of play that the Spurs got from everybody that Greg Popovich called on. And that really was the difference. They had 8, 9 guys playing at a high level when Miami only had 1 or 2 guys most nights.
That's a great thought. Now here's Duncan. Following the miss by Kyrie Irving. Duncan with the screen for Parker. And the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
Well, an illegal screen is one of the toughest calls for the official to make.
You know, I agree with you. You've got to have some sympathy for the referees when they have to make calls like that, but they get paid well, and they're the best in the business, so they can handle it.
Cavaliers trailing. Irving kicks to Varejao. He feeds it to LeBron. Raiders against Green. Irving drives in. Misses from short range.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane. He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
Parker outside. Pass to Duncan. Sinks it on the run. Duncan's got 7.
He can finish in the post. That's one thing we know about.
Looking at the last game for San Antonio, it was a win against the 76ers.
And Kevin, in that game, we saw a lot of sloppy play from the opposing offense. They coughed the ball up way too often.
Yeah, and that did make things really easy, guys. Nice to get a win if you're on that side of it and not to have to work too hard for it.
San Antonio trailing here. Parker outside. Duncan with the screen on Irving. Parker kicks to Duncan. That drops, and it comes off an assist from Parker. 9 points for Tim Duncan. The Cavaliers have gone 5 of 8 from the field, shooting over 62%. Pick by Verejao. And play stops. Whistle on what looks to be an illegal screen. Sean Marion is checked in for Anderson Verejao. Now here's Parker. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Over to the left wing. And it's Duncan penetrating. Thompson with the block. James up top. He's covered by Leonard. And Leonard with the block. Shot's good by Waiters. And San Antonio calls the first time out of the game. This game against Cleveland is the first time they've met this season.
Last season they had a very easy time with this club, and of course being East versus West, they only got to face them twice, but I'm sure they wish they had them on the schedule more often.
And now a quick rundown of the leading free throw shooters at small forward this year. It's a pretty sure thing whenever one of them gets to the line. Second is Sean Marion.
Well, there are some smooth strokes among that group, guys. What else can you say?
As a coach, you want your small forwards to be aggressive in getting to the basket. I mean, that's a must. And with these players, whether they draw the foul or get a layup out of it, it's a win-win.
And here is Parker. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Steve was talking before we got into that little segment there about playing them more, and it was 2 games last year, 2 wins. It's probably a safe assumption they've got a lot of confidence heading into this first meeting, Clark, this year.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, they appear to be at opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of talent. But nothing's ever a sure thing, Kevin. That's why we play the games.
I like that. Good.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
Splitter, that's good. Splitter's got his second bucket of the night.
And the lead goes right back over. This is a seesaw affair.
The game's there for the taking, but neither team seems to want it.
And Waiters kicks to Thompson. The feed now to Irving. James outside. 6 on the shot clock. Ron right side. The shot no good. So the Spurs will take it the other way.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
Yeah, and even though it's early, I mean, that's a great sign for them for the rest of the game. Well, with that much space off the pick, you've got to drop that in.
Yeah, you got to make that one. I mean, that's a high-quality shot you should make 9 out of 10 times.
Good. Irving's got his second bucket of the game to go. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, 6 lead changes already, and as Rasheed Wallace once said, both teams playing hard, my man.
Now here's Parker. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Splitter inside, guarded by Marion. Splitter misses.
Tristan Thompson, a ferocious offensive rebounder, top 5 overall in that category last season. For a young player, still only 23, you got to love his activity on the glass.
Irving against Parker. Irving drives in, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And Thompson standing about 6'9", but his long arms make him an exciting prospect defensively.
Yeah, he can really affect the game with his length. Not a big-time shot blocker, but he holds up pretty well, both on the ball and as a help defender.
At the line, your
Boy, some would like to give Kyrie Irving the injury-prone label. I'm not sure if that's fair.